Hi everybody, thank you very much for having me. I've got way too many slides. I'm afraid I am an imposter. I should not be here. I'm not a grower and I'm not a foodie, really. I'm more like fuelie. I did eat Tesco's sandwiches today. I do it quite often. Happens all the time. I have a disgraceful sort of culinary karma. You know, this is me, really. I fuel, you know, like Carolyn Steele says, you know, and this kind of fuel as well. I guess why I'm here is to talk about tits. I'm here to talk about latitude, attitude, and altitude. They've got tits in them. I run this thing called Latitudinal Cuisine, and I was going to talk briefly about that. Then I was going to do what I really hate doing, which is talk about me. So I know I said I when I prefaced that, but I will try and explain why I do it. It's not normally something I do. And then I'm going to talk about what my students at the RCA are doing about food. It's called the architecture of food. So anyway, on Latitude, we run this thing called Latitudinal Cuisine. I don't really do it anymore. It's more like Sinead does most of it. And the deal is that we eat the world. We go round the world and we eat food day by day. There's some aspect of how all of this stuff is actually coming from London. This is some of the places we've eaten it. London's a cornucopia of all kinds of places. We move a degree a day. We start on GMT and we move a degree a day in our little recommended daily adventure across the world. This is the little map that we've got. This is where we are right now on the green line, but you're all saying, hold on, those red lines, they're vertical. That's not a latitude, you're right. Aren't latitudes actually horizontal? You're right, they are. So we started off horizontal. I think there's a map here. Fuck. Where is it? Is it here? It's there. That's how we started off the first year. Doesn't really fucking make sense, though. It makes sense culinarily, of course, it's great. But you end up, if you do one latitude a week, which is what we're doing, getting stuck in London. You can't do Scandinavia. You can't do the south of Chile. It's sort of slightly strange. And then if you went, so the deal was it was a perfect geometrical match. We flipped it round so that it became vertical, so that you did a degree a day, because actually you've got 360 days, you've got 360 degrees. You get quite a match of the year, and then you do the spin, so you've sampled the whole thing. Here we happen to be, luckily enough, on the Great British Menu. So we did this little large map of the world. There are 5 of us cooking stuff. Here's our little scan line. This is an example. It was the 253rd day or whatever it was of the year, which is the 253rd longitude. So we are cooking from those few little places. Our sort of sample line is determined by the accident of the day. So it reads like a calendar. It's like a score. It reads from left to right. And the beauty of it is that you can then plot out what people do. They have their own little flight paths a little bit. And that's the deal, is because it's all about people a little bit. So it just comes out of this sort of question of what do I eat anyway? What do you eat? What do we all eat together? And what do they eat? What does the rest of the world eat? How do we know about the world? That's sort of our kind of defining question a little bit. Where does all this food that we're eating come from? We know it doesn't come from here. You know, I know Paul doesn't grow enough of it to feed us all. And what's the story of the food that we're eating? This is our sort of prime question, I suppose. So take something dumb and British like the strawberry. The strawberry was grown in ancient Rome. It was actually found in its current incarnation in North and South America. We think of it as terribly British, but it was actually cultivated in France. It's got this insane backstory that has really nothing to do with this kind of level of Britishness. And our strawberry that we think is so British is, of course, you zoom into Spain, coming from here, from this insane polytunnel landscape all around us. So just on a level of Britishness, just to give you an example of the kind of thing that we do, on the royal wedding, you know, a great day for all of us, so happy there, delighted to see them all married. We did things that were British, but they were British with a twist. So here's someone doing little strawberry jellies, except they have sausages inside as well, because they've got all kinds of things in them. We put up some cunting, and we did some cucumber and curry sandwiches, and generally had a kind of great festive time. But it's not so much about the food. This is my impostershipness. It's all about the people. And where do all these people come from? What's their story? That's the deal, is that everyone, when they come, actually all present their food. And so in some ways, all of the food is actually an avatar for all of these people. And what I just noticed, actually, is our little map marking where we go on the map. I just realized it's kind of the sign for a female. It's this little sort of cross, you know, and we tend to get lots of ladies because they cook better. Who are all these people? Well, it started out as buddies. There were a few foodies that started to come along, some feeders. They like to feed the foodies. There were some breeders, some seeders, some people looking to try and kind of fertilize with their breeders, some snoopers who wanted to know about places, socialites, some socialists, wanted to share everything, some sociologists wanted to know what the hell these people were doing, anthropologists wanted to find out about what we were all doing. Some travelers, some explorers, and what was weird is that a lot of people started to think that we were all swingers. I don't know why, but they were like, why the hell are you guys all meeting? What are you doing? Kind of thing. And it was funny when you looked at the backstory, people were like, who are you, Alex? Why are you getting all these people together? Who are you? You know, they knew that I was half French. If you Google swingers food, you get a whole load of random stuff. One of the first things you get, I left off, you get these really gruesome cocktail sticks. But you also get this funny French article, which is all about the French are more libertine. There's 7% that practice or have practiced swinging, and they don't mean this. So I don't know, maybe it was the kind of thing, you know, they somehow thought it was me. Anyway, this is moving on to the second chapter about why. Not why swing, but why come to Latitude, or why do it at all. So I'm going to try and explain my attitude. And this is a little reference to Miss Marmite, who wrote about us when she came along in January. So I guess it's an apology from me, because I used to be a massive fussy eater. I didn't eat anything. So now I try to eat everything. I end up going to shops to have to buy this kind of shit, because we did an aphrodisiac night and I was looking for testicles to cook. We were all trying to do different forms of aphrodisiacs. Testicles are a very well-known aphrodisiac. Everyone else has got oysters and all that sort of stuff. So you end up kind of eating stuff that's outside of your comfort zone. Another aspect is I'm trying to embrace my genes. My mum is a fantastic cook, or at least I'm searching for those genes because I don't have them, but she makes amazing stuff. And my dad, I guess, is a big enophile. There's some aspects in which in the English home maybe the TV is king, but actually maybe in the French the table is king. That this is the space around which you congregate. And just incidentally, in our architectural practice, we've been designing a table which uses all the contours of the world to seat 100 people around it. It's for Latitude. That's the nights of the cities of the world all illuminating it at night. It's this huge contoured thing. It's about 1.5 meters tall, and you sit on the sort of contours of the ocean. One of the deals is that I'm always at work, so I can't cook for everyone all the time. So I wanted to host dinners without cooking everything. I'd been cooking everything, and of course I'm crap, so I've been poisoning lots of people. And I've been doing a different form of structure where I'd been doing colors. I did this sort of yellow one, everything was yellow. The beta-carotene one had caused massive complaints. Everyone said that they were completely ODing. You know, look at them, they look so unhappy. The red one was hilarious. I don't really know how to do anything. So I did a red wine risotto, and I gave it to the French girl, and she thought, this is wonderful pâté, Alex. When did you make this? So I thought I'd finally learn how to cook. I'm still not managing to do that. I cooked this on our anniversary. This is a Vietnamese birthday dish. It's called ban chung. It was wrapped in this banana leaf. It's inside here. Know that Sinead is quaking with fear at how disgusting this thing was. It took me the longest time I've ever cooked anything for. It took me 10 hours to cook. It was absolutely inedible. There are things that we try to do to enjoy. We try to enjoy pleasure. That's I suppose, my key motivation. It's all meant to be about eating all of these incredible things that come to us, all these different circular forms or whatever they are, all these amazing foods from all around the world. There's this hunger for novelty, for all of these strange things that we've never really eaten before. I didn't know about edible flowers or all their various incarnations. A hunger for sensation. This is our image of a guy being blasted his senses. But of course, when we eat, we're blasting our nose and our lips, and this is just the taste. You know, then there's already the tactile thing, the sort of sound of the glasses clinking, the visual aspect of the food. It's the most intense thing. There's this pursuit of sensuality. Food is all like this now. Everywhere you look, it's advertised this way. Be a good vegetarian and wear your fig leaf kind of thing. Even anti-meat stuff is sexy somehow. It's this. I don't know if anyone's seen this kind of brutal campaign where they got models to kind of get slaughtered. We're doing this meal on the 12th of December where it's all about finger food. You're not allowed to feed yourself. We did a Valentine's thing where there was no cutlery and you had to feed other people, and it often turned into parties. There was the first one, it was crazy. It was in wherever she is, this place. It was, we went on to 8 in the morning. I don't know why. It was a sort of shift from our party things, but there's a massive interest in excess in general in this. This is a party we did for 100 people where we put out a big map of the world and they then slowly colonized it with their food. They all brought their own country. And as they brought the food from their own country and placed it on the map, they placed a candle as well. So we had this sort of incredible visualization of where everyone was from. And there's this interest, of course, in mapping somehow, an architect. So we did one in the gallery where we asked everyone to then draw where they were from, and collectivity. One of my own projects that I've done, which sort of incorporates mapping is the cloud for London. It was a proposal picked by Anish Kapoor. It's for Stratford, and the idea was to build this huge space up in the air, a series of bubbles which were laced with media, and you could walk up and you'd be in an analog but also a digital zone, which enabled you to understand where you were in relation to London. And there are all sorts of maps that would come up. It would recognize who you were, and it would tell you where all the gold medals were at any one point, because it's for the Olympics kind of thing, as you look across. An interesting complexity. All of our meals are sort of completely inconsistent. 2 minutes, crazy. So the work that we do is completely complex, and you get the deal. Rule-based systems, chance operations, travel. The traveler has to knock at every alien door to come to his own. There's some aspect in which we're going around the world in order to understand exactly what we are like ourselves. But everything here is here already. Equality. In the world's audience hall, the simple blade of grass, it's on the same carpet as the sunbeams. There's the idea that all food is somehow equal. A project about geography of the world and installation where we pushed all the world's sunrises into Australia as soon as it was setting. And then huge interest in geography. I'm just trying to give you my shtick here, but I should stop. There's a residential house here where we mapped the geography of the cosmos above, the land all around you, and the bursts of sunshine that come through the door, all in the floorboards. We carved them into the actual wood underneath your ground. The key thing is to explore the world, really. We're exploring our city. We did one on this boat here, which we designed actually for other stuff. We did a little dinner floating outside the Olympics. We did one in the Southwark Urban Physics Garden, Meanwhile Space and Whitechapel Street. We did one on the street in Shoreditch. In fact, the garbage truck came and backed up right next to us, completely insane. And of course, explore new foods here. There was this incredible moment. We did the Future of Foods a few weeks ago. I bought some locusts, never cooked them. I would never eat them. Why on earth would I do that? But they're beautiful things, in fact, but they're live when you buy them. Who knew? Bought them in a pet shop. And everything else I was cooking looked like an insect. I froze them, brilliant, they're finally dead. Chuck them in the pan, they're still alive, I couldn't believe it. They all jumped out of the pan and popped all over the floor, but ended up in a salad kind of thing. And new ideas. One of my favorite ones was Politics of Food that we did in the shed, which is all about how does food symbolize the way that we think about politics. These are other future food-based ones. One celebrating Lord Lucan's disappearance. Someone did nannies in sacks kind of thing. That's what that is. New situations. Here's Yinka Shunabari and Alison Gill, sort of artists doing stuff with silver. We did edible architecture, structures with food. Did a telematic dinner to Barcelona when they were all rioting there. Global revolution or not. And new worlds. All trying to discover all of these different spaces that are all around us that somehow relates to the world. So it's all about really for the love of people. It's not food, it's people. It's getting everyone together in the city that's classified as the loneliest city in the UK, the 6th loneliest in the world. 30% of people are lonely, supposedly, and people are great. Patriotism cannot be our final spiritual shelter. My refuge is humanity. I've got about 200 extra slides, but I'm not going to show them. Thanks so much for listening. Bye.